What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Wednesday, February 2nd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 9-game slate tonight. So let's take a look at the point guard position. So there will be no LeBron James here tonight for the LA Lakers. So I like Russell Westbrook from the LA Lakers playing the Portland Trail Blazers, who have the 9th worst defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing point guards. Russell Westbrook has averaged 42.3 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 35 minutes per game with a 28% usage rate. Now he's he's projected at 41.9 fantasy points here tonight, but with no LeBron James, I think he can score 50 fantasy points or more in this one and get you 5 times value or more. He's $9,400 DraftKings salary and $900 less on FanDuel. So I love that FanDuel price. Vegas thinks there's going to be 222.5 points scored in this game, and Russell Westbrook has scored 49, 49, and 32 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 35, 37, and 34 minutes. He's also got a pretty good track record here versus the Portland Trail Blazers, scoring 54, 30, 60, and 49 fantasy points in his last 4 games. So with no LeBron James on the court, I like Russell Westbrook here versus the Portland Trail Blazers. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. With no Damian Lillard on the court, I like CJ McCollum from the Portland Trail Blazers playing the LA Lakers, who have the 4th worst defense overall. They give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. CJ McCollum has averaged 36.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 35 minutes per game with a 27% usage rate. He's projected at 37.4 fantasy points here tonight, but with no Damian Lillard, I think he can score 42 fantasy points or more in this one, get you 5 times value or more. He's $8,100 DraftKings salary, $400 less on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 222.5 points scored in this game, and CJ McCollum has scored 35, 42, and 39 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 38, 35, and 36 minutes. So I like CJ McCollum here versus the LA Lakers. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Evan Fournier from the New York Knicks playing the Memphis Grizzlies, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Evan Fournier has averaged 22.9 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 29 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. I think he could score 28 fantasy points or more in this one, and he's $5,400 DraftKings salary, same price on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 217 points scored in this game, and Evan Fournier has scored 27 and 45 fantasy points in the last 2 games, playing 27 and 31 minutes. And I like this pick because Evan Fournier has scored 40 and 49 fantasy points in his last 2 games versus the Grizzlies. Now, this is kind of a high risk, high reward play here. This guy could definitely blow up your lineup, but at 5,400, he's got that 40 plus fantasy point upside. So I like Evan Fournier here versus the Memphis Grizzlies.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. I like Al Horford from the Boston Celtics playing the Charlotte Hornets, who have the second worst defense overall. They give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Al Horford has averaged 28.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 29 minutes per game with a 16% usage rate. He's projected at 27.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 5,200 DraftKings salary, 300 more on FanDuel, and Al Horford has scored 32 and 23 fantasy points in the last 2 games, playing 31 and 24 minutes. And Al Horford has scored 33, 25, and 32 fantasy points in his last 3 games versus the Hornets. So I like Al Horford here versus the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, moving on to the center position. Here's a value play for you. I like Richaun Holmes from the Sacramento Kings playing the Brooklyn Nets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing centers. Richaun Holmes has averaged 26.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 26 minutes per game with a 16% usage rate. He's projected at 26.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.4 times value. He's only 5,000 DraftKings salary. He's 700 more on FanDuel. Richaun Holmes has scored 19, 22, and 27 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 25, 30, and 28 minutes. And Richaun Holmes has scored 38, 7, and 29 fantasy points in his last 3 games versus the Nets. I think this is a good matchup for Richaun Holmes, and I think he can easily score 25 fantasy points or more and get you 5 times value or more. So I like Richaun Holmes here versus the Brooklyn Nets.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.